Let's be honest for a second. Are we really preparing our kids for the world of tomorrow with the tools of yesterday? We all know getting a good test score is important, but is that really enough to succeed in a future that's all about AI and global connection? Today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating case study that kind of flips that old model on its head and asks a much bigger question. What does success actually look like?
For years, everyone's been chasing this idea of fluency in language learning. But what does that even mean? The real issue is that just knowing a bunch of words isn't the same thing as being able to use them with purpose. If you can't actually express your own thoughts, your own ideas, well, then you've really only gotten halfway there, right?
So, what happens is students get stuck in one of two traps. On one side, you have the test-focused kids. They're grammar wizards, but ask them for an original opinion and they freeze. On the other side, you've got the conversation-focused kids. They can handle small talk, sure, but they just can't keep up in a real logical debate. Either way, the result's the same. English stays a subject you study, not a tool you can use to actually change things. Okay, so if the old methods are broken, what's the alternative? Well, it starts with a whole new philosophy, one that's built on 4 core pillars. And these are designed to create not just good students, but leaders who are truly ready for the future. All right, let's break this down. First, you reframe English as a tool for critical thinking, not just memorizing words. Then, on top of that, you build character, things like teamwork and problem solving. Next, students learn how to apply all of this by building their own personal brand, their own unique story. And finally, you connect it all to the real world, getting them ready for global challenges. It's a whole-person approach that sees a kid as way more than just a score on a test. Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great on paper, right? An inspiring vision. But the million-dollar question is, does this thing actually work in a real classroom with real, middle schoolers? And that's exactly what we're about to find out. They put this method to the test in a program at Yangyang Middle School. It was designed from the ground up to build global leadership and AI skills. And the best part? They tracked everything with hard data. This wasn't just a one-day workshop. It was an 11-session journey that took these kids from introspection all the way to creation. It started with them understanding themselves, their personalities, their values. Then they connected that self-knowledge to real-world global issues they actually cared about. And from there, they got practical, diving into AI and prompt engineering to build their own chatbots, all while creating a portfolio to track their own growth. So, after all that, what happened? Well, the data couldn't have been clearer. Across every single core skill they were trying to build, students showed statistically significant growth. And that phrase, statistically significant, is super important. We'll unpack what it means in just a minute. And look at how real these changes were. Before the program, students rated their ability to make a career plan at just a 2.84 out of 5. Afterwards, it jumped over 4. We see the same exact story with designing a chatbot and using AI to help their community. We're not talking about small bumps here. These are massive, massive leaps in both their confidence and their actual skills. But the most dramatic jump of all, it was in their understanding of AI prompts, the actual language you use to talk to an AI. They went from a 2.69 all the way up to a 4.11. That's huge. It shows they didn't just learn about AI from a textbook, they learned how to command it. The program didn't just teach a subject, it kind of demystified the future for them. Okay, so when we say the results were statistically significant, what does that actually mean? Put simply, it's the scientific way of proving that the outcome wasn't a fluke. It's not just a coincidence. By using these tests, they could be pretty certain that the amazing growth we just saw happened because of the program itself. It's not just a feeling, it's a validated result. The numbers are powerful, for sure, but they don't tell the whole story. To understand the real impact, you have to listen to the students themselves. Their stories show us not just what changed, but why it mattered so much. Think about this quote for a second. This shows a transformation that goes so far beyond a test score. That journey from not knowing to now I know, that's about finding a sense of purpose, and that's the foundation for any successful future. And listen to the wonder in this one. It was amazing. You can just feel that aha moment, can't you? That's when technology stops being this abstract thing and becomes a powerful tool for creation, something you can control. This right here, this shows the shift in mindset. The program wasn't just some one-time project for a grade. It planted a seed for lifelong learning. This student is already thinking beyond the classroom, planning how they're going to keep building their own story. That's the sign of a truly powerful learning experience. So, did the students actually enjoy this new, challenging way of learning? The data says a big yes. If you add it up, over 75%, three-quarters of them, were either satisfied or very satisfied. It just proves that you can have an education that is both tough and engaging, one that pushes kids out of their comfort zone and still gets them excited. So, as we start to wrap this up, it's pretty clear that the goal here is way bigger than just one successful 11-session program. It's really about a much deeper, long-term philosophy for education. And this quote just nails it. The goal isn't just about short-term wins on a report card. It's about becoming a long-term partner in a student's life journey, helping them build the skills and the confidence they need to handle whatever the future throws at them. And that kind of leaves us with one final big thought to chew on. We've seen the data, we've heard the stories, and it really forces us to ask, what is the true purpose of education? Is it just to transfer information, or is it to empower every single student to discover and then to write their own unique growth story?